Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss Impact Wrestling for August the 4th, 2022. This was a pretty decent show. It wasn't the best, it wasn't awful, but it was, in between. It was decent at best. The main event was a banger. It was fun. It was fucking fun. So we kicked the show off with Rosemary, who is one half of the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, versus Deonna Purrazzo. So Chelsea Green was not by Purrazzo's side this week. Purrazzo wins via a roll-up. So towards the end of the match, Jessica, she interferes. Rosemary was able to hit a spear. Rosemary would have won, but the ref was occupied with Jessica, and then that allowed Purrazzo to roll up Rosemary for the 1, 2, 3, and I'm fine with this. It seems like they have no idea what they're going to do with Rosemary and Havoc right now. I don't know what they can do. Same thing with Taya Valkyrie. I do think that come Emergence, Purrazzo and Green will walk away as the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. It just makes sense. That's just me. Then we have Eddie Edwards. He talks to PCO. He tells him that he needs to prove himself. He says that he needs to prove his loyalty to Honor No More by taking out Doc Gallows in their Derby City Street fight later on tonight. Then Gia Miller, she interviews Giselle Shaw ahead of her match with Masha Slamovich. Shaw claims that the reason she's been avoiding Slamovich is because she hasn't been able to scout her. Then we had Brian Myers versus Black Taurus with Crazy Steve by his side for the Digital Media Championship. Brian Myers is able to retain by getting his foot on the ropes for the 3. Post-match, out comes Pagender. So he tosses Myers into the ring, and Decay, they beat him down 3-on-1. And then Pagender, he hits a spear, and it sends a message to Myers. Who really cares? Like I said before, Pagender needs to be in the X Division scene, in my opinion. I like him. He's kind of cool. What was weird, and it was crazy as fuck, was the fact that he's been undefeated for 7 months. Like, what the fuck? Like, how the hell did that happen? Like, what? Damn. So when Tom Hannafin mentioned that on commentary, I was like, what the hell? When the fuck did that happen? So he's been undefeated for 7 months. Okay, that's interesting. Damn. Sorry for the background noise, guys. Moving on. So Gia Miller, she interviews Jordan Grace. And Grace basically says that whether it's a friend or a foe, standing across from her in the ring, everyone is an obstacle that she's going to overcome. So this is interesting. Then we had Josh Alexander. We got shown his match with Jacob Fatu from this past Sunday's at Flair's last match. So, but then they showed the involvement of Myers and Cardona. Then we had Giselle Shaw versus Masha Slamovich. This match was good, but I did not like it. So Giselle, she was able to get Masha to a 2 count. I did not like this. This should have been over in about 30 seconds. And this made Masha look vulnerable. So, Masha hit a German suplex, and Shaw was able to kick out, and then Masha, she hit the snowplow, and she now has a 14-0 streak. I just did not like this. To me, it was total shit, and it's not right. Personally, Masha should have destroyed her like she did it, like she's done to everybody else. It should have been over within about 30 seconds, at least. 15 would have been great. 15 would have been even better. So, moving on. So, Jessica, she looks to redeem herself after inadvertently costing Rosemary. And so, at Emergence, she vows that Rosemary and Ty Valkyrie will defeat Vex to retain the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Okay, that's interesting. Then we have Violent by Design featuring Joe Doring and Diener versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Motor City Machine Guns win. What in the actual fuck is going on? It makes no sense. Do the Motor City Machine Guns, do they practice like witchcraft or something? Do they have some type of spell on Impact Wrestling? Like, what the fuck? These guys win every fucking match. Like, damn. They've got to be doing some fucking type of magic spells or some seances, some crazy shit. Because every time, they always win. It's ridiculous. What? Like, what the fuck? Like, these guys are 40. It's the same thing with Doring and Diener. Same thing, but damn. Like, they always win. Like, what the hell? And then we found out what... Oh, yeah, my bad. Post-match, Violent by Design, they attempt to assault the machine guns, but Kushida, he makes the save temporarily. Then Eric Young, he makes his presence known, and he spikes Kushida with a vicious power driver. So that's cool, but who really gives a shit? Later on, Kushida and Sabin, they vow to take out Violent by Design at Emergence. And then Dr. Alexander, he comes into the mix. He tells Shelley to be careful because he needs him at 100% for their upcoming title match at Emergence. Then, this was interesting right here. Eddie Edwards, he tells Josh Alexander that it's time for him to open up his eyes and see what's really going on in Impact Wrestling. So that was pretty cool because this now sets up, they're now planting the seeds of Bound for Glory being Josh Alexander versus Eddie Edwards. So the story is officially coming full circle. Full circle. So this all actually legitimately makes sense. I do see Honor No More beating the Bullet Club at Emergence in the Fall Scott Anywhere match. I do see that happening anyway. Then we had Sami Callihan taking on Raj Singh. Sami wins via the Cactus Driver, and then he hits the crossfit chicken wing. Then post-match, gets on the mic. He calls out Moose and Maclin for a fight. Moose's music hits, but it's basically Maclin who's standing at the top of the ramp. Moose attempts to blindside Callihan with his spear, and then later on, Maclin hits him with a low blow, and then he does his DDT, and then Moose does a spear, and then Maclin does his his KIA from Maclin. So that's pretty fucking cool. I like it. I love his variation of the DDT. And then they ran down the card for a next week's show. Then we had the main event. Oh, before we move on, the Bullet Club, they were hanging out backstage, and they're basically telling Gallows to go to war with PCO. Basically, just take out PCO. So then we get to the main event. This thing was fun. So we got steel chairs involved. We got thumbtacks. Gallows, towards the end of the match, hits a choke slam, and it sends PCO crashing through the ring. And then PCO is able to somehow get to his feet at a 9 count. Then PCO loads a glove with thumbtacks, and he takes out Gallows for the 3, and then PCO stands tall, and then that was the show. So this was a pretty interesting show, to say the very least. I enjoyed it for the most part. I'm really digging that we're setting up things with Alexander and Eddie Edwards. I think that's going to be where this thing all leads to. It makes sense. I do see the Good Brothers losing their tag titles to Honor No More in due time. Probably it'll happen on a random episode of Impact. And I think that Emergence is going to be a fun pay-per-view next weekend. I'm looking forward to it. But this show does basically set up for, it sets up everything for Bound for Glory. And remember, Bound for Glory is basically in 2 months. Literally, it's in 2 months' time. 2 months. So they don't have a whole bunch of time to build for Bound for Glory. They only have 60 days, but they have to use all 60 of those days. And we need to know the main event for Bound for Glory, I would say, after the fallout for Emergence. So that's what they need to start doing. You know, they've already planted the seeds tonight for that with Eddie Edwards and Josh Alexander. So now, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for my videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Alright.